Welcome back in Portugal. From now on, I'm not gonna think what shall I make and do I have the material for it, but I'm just gonna look what materials do I have and what can I make of it. So a few weeks ago I sold my last vintage drum kit. And I got a box full of parts that are, and I'm thinking, what if I'm using all these drum kit parts, combine them with the wood I've got, make some, I don't know, tables or little stools or whatever. So I've got this piece of the almond tree, which is, it's cracked all over it, but I still think I can make something out of it. And I'm just gonna plane it a bit down and then see if I can get it flat, and somehow I want to attach these wheels, these legs to it, but I'm missing one of these screws, but I think I can make one, and I don't know yet how to fix them because there are the screws from the inside, and of course you can't put them on the side of anything, so I have to come up with something, but first make these flat. Before you think that's not very smart to do that, these are old blades on there, they're not so sharp anyway, and this machine has been, banged up, and it's usable for rough work. All the fine work I do with a hand plane. So. So I planed it, as reasonable flat as I can just do it, and then I'm going to set up my router jig to make it absolutely flat. Well, it's flat on both sides, and you never know what holes you're going to find, but this has to be it. Welcome back. I need to make 8 cm sides, to put the drum parts on of the legs. So that means I could as easy make a drawer in it. So it's going to be a little table with a little drawer. So this is some old pine I found, but it's like oiled, so it's really, well, doesn't matter. So the whole idea is to router out a groove, the thickness of this wood, and then this one becomes like a brace here over the split, glued in. And then I found this old little piece from a chair which already has some carving in it, and that is going to be the front of the drawer. So I routed out the shape of this box about 1 centimeter in. So it's really snug in there, so I can glue it in, and it's gonna make some strength over the crack that's in the top. I've made a little drawer out of scrap pieces of wood, and that fits in here, and of course a bottom. But I'm going to attach the bottom to this drawer, so it will slide out with the drawer. I need to do that because I need to get here to put the drum kit legs on. It's got to be screwed from the inside. So it's a bit of a different solution, but I think it works. So I've routed out these parts for this spanners from the drum kit, and got these little plates, so I have to put them in there, and then the idea is to drill a hole through there, and then of course the cracks will be, I'm going to put glue in it and things like that, but things makes it a nice feature. This could go right, or it could go wrong. Well, I think that went well. holes. The legs can go through here, or from the other side up, so that's okay. Then the drawer is underneath here, and this is going to be the drawer front, and I have to figure out how am I going to make this on, and I want to have this as a handle, so I've got to cut it off, but I'm hoping I can make some thread on it, otherwise I'll have to glue it in. So it's time to put some wax on. I'm going to use different kinds. For the interior I use normal wax, and for the outside my favorite liquid wax. So I found a bolt for the missing one, but it's too long, so I got to cut it off, and I have to grind out like this little arch that fits into the roundness of the leg. So well, that's it for this week. made out of drum kit parts and a bit of almond wood and some scrap woods. So I think this is a nice little table. I think you call it an occasional table. Well, that's what it is. So that's it for now. Do some woodworking, it's a nice way to spend your time. And see you all next time.